We're back here on the Riverhawks Media Network. Diallo gets the ball, heads left, heads to the right. He breaks a couple of tackles, and he could go. He's to the 20, to the 10. Could go all the way for a Boonies Riverhawks touchdown.
Man, I'm hungry.
And what's this, folks? Change of events as Diallo's off the field. Looks like he's on Iowa Avenue in Muscatine. I think he said something about being hungry. He crosses the street. He jumps the curb. Oh, look no further. He's at Boonies on the Avenue. Let's head inside.
What's a pizza?
That is an MVP play, and you could be the MVP of your team at home by heading to Boonies on the Avenue in Muscatine. A family restaurant with over 27 big screen TVs, daily food and drink specials to cater the needs of any sports fan, from a rookie to a Hall of Famer. Looking for a night out or a place to watch the big game? Look no further than Boonies on the Avenue, located at 214 Iowa Avenue in Muscatine, or by phone at 563-263-0626. Boonies on the Avenue, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football. The Riverhawks Media Network is looking forward to bringing you, the fans, nonstop football action here this 2021 season. But we are also excited to bring you a way to get involved in the action and support a great cause all season long. The Muscatine Riverhawks, in partnership with the Riverhawks Media Network, are proud to bring the season-long donations with our partners of the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Eastern Iowa and Western Illinois. The Riverhawks have committed to donating as a team every time the defense gets a sack, turnover, touchdown, or safety. We are asking you, the fans, to get involved in this great organization that assists families with sick children stay close to each other and provide care and resources when they need it most. So while you support the team on the field, come support our team in donating to this great cause. More information can be provided across all of our social media platforms or by visiting gf.me/u/ZPNWMM. Thank you, the fans, for all the support you've given the Muscatine Riverhawks over the last 5 years. All-American Diner, the leading restaurant serving Muscatine County, and surrounding areas since 2020. Serving breakfast all day as well as lunch and dinner. They offer a fish fry every Friday and a buffet on the weekends. For your next meal, visit All-American Diner in Muscatine or call for more information at 563-263-2224. All-American Diner, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football.
The following broadcast is a production of the Riverhawks Media Network and is property of the Muscatine Riverhawks. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast without the expressed written consent of Muscatine Riverhawks football is strictly prohibited.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Riverhawks Weekly. Play-by-play announcer Tyler Bean alongside former Monmouth College wide receiver Jake Landry. Jake, happy Monday. Another week of Riverhawks football. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. You know, no football to talk of on the Riverhawks end, but some serious action in the MAAFL, so can't wait to get talking about it.
Well, not only serious action in the MAAFL, but obviously this past weekend, the Muscatine Riverhawks took part in the Theo Wolf Foundation Charity Fun Walk and Fundraiser. Hanging out with a bunch of future Riverhawks, playing some catch, meet and greets all over the place. I tell you, there's not another team in the MAAFL that's doing as much in the eyes of the community as the Muscatine Riverhawks, and you got to take pride in that, right, partner?
Oh, 100%. You know, the sport of football has a great opportunity for people to interact with, those who support them. And the town of Muscatine supports the Riverhawks, and it's just a great way for everybody on the team to get out there and interact with, the place we call home, I guess.
Well, absolutely, and I think, just thinking about the Riverhawks Media Network, truly the work it's taken to get this off of the ground, and for our viewers at home to be able to catch games every single week and not have to necessarily go to Muscatine or go on the road to follow, that's important. But the next most important thing to this ownership group, is to really make a positive impact in the community. I know Shay Mundine and Eric Johnson were on Good Morning Muscatine a couple of weeks back showcasing the team, and we've got a billboard there heading into Muscatine, and then obviously, of course, this important foundation having a booth there selling merchandise for charity, and just really interacting with the community is important. So it was successful. We had a few players go out and spend some time with the kids and play catch, and I know I caught a video of Eric Johnson out there throwing routes to hopefully future Riverhawks. So it was a bye week well spent, the final bye week of the year, and that's going to head us into the rundown. And there were a lot of games this weekend. One really that stood out the most before I ask you that question, partner, Peoria beating MST 19-18. The rest of the games pretty non-eventful. Burlington beating the Tri-State Timberwolves 2-0. Central State Savages over the Clark County Chiefs 53-0. The Midwest Hawks all over the Quad City Nighthawks 83-0. And then the Muscatine Riverhawks forfeit win over SCO 2-0. And then the Effingham County Storm on a bye. Now, let's take a quick breath. Let's dive into the playoff picture presented by Badlands Fitness. Peoria at 7-0 at the top, Muscatine there at 5-2. The Savages of Central State and Mid-State Thunderbirds tied at 5-2 after the MST loss this last weekend. Quad Cities there at 1-6, barely hanging on. And then the Clark County Chiefs at 1-6 in the hunt. If the playoffs were to begin today, Quad Cities would head to Peoria. Burlington would head to the Midwest Hawks. We'd have the Effingham County Storm in a home playoff game, and then MST taking on CSS in the 4-5. I do want to remind you, if this lays out the way it would lay out, Central State at 5-2, MST at 5-2, the 4-5 seed would be determined in a coin toss. The 8-9 seed, Quad City and Clark County 1-6, I believe would be a coin toss. Don't quote me on that, but if so, we would have 2 coin tosses to determine seeding, and the playoffs would begin. How about that?
Well, I mean, we said it last week. Let's like the Friday Night Lights, but hey, if Clark County and MST have been playing the way they're playing, it's going to be a great matchup there. Whenever we see them on later in the playoffs, but
sure.
Just this whole past week, I mean, everything's starting to take shape, and we're about to start some playoff football, man.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, and of course, later on in the show, we're going to detail the big game this coming Sunday. Muscatine final regular season game heading to Bloomington to take on the Mid-State Thunderbirds, which will determine the 3 seed. I think mathematically it plays out. This game on Sunday is going to determine who the 3 seed is, and then you've got Effingham County and Burlington and Effingham County right there in the thick of things. I think it's a real interesting picture from 3 through 8, and we talked about it earlier on in the year. Probably talked about it right when the podcast started. Home playoff games are important. I think Peoria and the Midwest Hawks have secured 1 and 2, so really it's a matter of 3 through 8 across the board. Those other 2, 3, and 4 seeds are going to get at least 1 home playoff game. Super important heading into the postseason.
100%, and this week is going to be, and we'll talk about it later, but this week is probably going to be the most important week that this team has seen all season. I mean, of course, I say that week in and week out, but literally we're to the point where this game is the most important game this team has played yet. So you're just going to have to bring out everything you can, maybe dive deep into that playbook. You know how Kyle Bass and Eric Johnson like to get a little creative. This week we're going to need to see some of that. It's going to be a knocking heads kind of game.
Well, and we posted a tweet on our Twitter page, which, by the way, follow us at Riverhawks_MN. I made a quote that you think about this team being 1 and 2 before those 2 consecutive bye weeks, and we talked about what it would take to get to this point. They've done everything right. They've won the games they're supposed to win. They went down to Decatur, beat a very good Central State Savages team, which will most likely be a top 4 home playoff team going into the playoffs. And you have to think this game out of all are going to be the most important, where if you're writing the storybook ending of a championship season, like we said, we're here in July with a bottle of champagne, hoisting an MAAFL trophy, on the Riverhawks Media Network, we're going to talk about the defining game in Decatur. And that's not to look at the past. I really think that could catapult us into a good potential playoff run. Obviously, this whole league is nothing but competitive teams. And from guys I've talked to on the Peoria squad, the MST squad gave a good fight yesterday and nearly came out with a win. They're going to do everything possible to secure that 3 seed in a potential home playoff game. It should be good. But let's talk really quick maybe about the 6 through 8 Effingham County. Burlington, who's 3-4 on a 2-game winning streak, and then Quad Cities holding on for dear life. Obviously, you being a Monmouth College graduate, you didn't really have to worry a whole lot about standings in terms of your football career. Monmouth was the cream of the crop of the Midwest Conference year in and year out.
No, we were usually on top. I mean, I think my junior season we had one big scare against University of Chicago. We went into overtime, stopped them at the 1-yard line. I think that was our biggest scare, but for the most part, we were always in that conference championship game. I went to 3 out of 3 in my season and went 2 for 3. I have 2 rings, but just a subtle flex right there. But
just a subtle one.
Yeah,
folks.
but as far as those lower seeds, it's you just got to think that's either some of them are thinking, okay, we could do the Cinderella run. This is the season to do the Cinderella run, or they're completely defeated. They're like, you know what, let's just get in, let's just play our game or not. So it's really going to be interesting to see who shows up on those games, but. That middle of the road, those teams, those are going to be the games to watch when it comes week 1 of playoff football. And I'm sure we'll cover this. You won't be here, but in the next podcast, I'm sure we'll cover this because that's the type of game the Riverhawks are looking at is that middle of the road. All right, we're good enough to be here for sure. We're good enough to contend for a championship, but we're also at the point where we got to play some tough teams to get there.
Well, not only playing tough teams, but we've talked about it all year in terms of travel. Travel in semi-pro football is not like your traditional high school or collegiate level traveling. Most teams aren't taking a charter bus with all their players on one sitting. They're driving themselves. They're paying their own way to get there. And the roster sizes typically differ from the away team versus the home team that will have a less shorter travel. So the ones I'm looking at right now, if the Quad City Nighthawks hold on to the 8 seed and got to go to Peoria, not necessarily a big haul, but it's a tall task to take on that team. And then obviously Burlington would head to the Midwest Hawks. That's a bit of a trek there from Burlington, Iowa, all the way to Peoria. And again, you're facing Maurice Coates and that hot Midwest Hawks offense, which did just put up 83 points on the Nighthawks. So it'll be interesting. But other than that, I really think it was a good bye week. Again, a good week to refresh the body and get ready for what is hopefully a long playoff push. So let's take a quick break. Thanks some sponsors. Come back. We have a surprise for you, folks. The man, the myth, the legend, head coach Eric Johnson is our guest of the hour to talk Riverhawks football on a potential championship push that hopefully pushes us into July. So that's Jake Landry. I'm Tyler Bean. We'll be right back. You're watching the Riverhawks Media Network.
Looking to level up your game this offseason or take care of your body mid-season for that late season playoff push? Then Badlands Fitness is the place for you. Badlands Fitness is the Quad Cities' choice for elite athletic training for athletes of all ages, all sports, and levels. Contact them at 309-617-6416. Badlands Fitness, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football. Travel accommodations for the Muscatine Riverhawks and the Riverhawks Media Network are provided by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, located at 3220 East 53rd Street, Suite A in Davenport. More information can be provided by calling 563-209-9631. Enterprise Rent-A-Car, proud sponsors of Riverhawks football. This is the portion of our broadcast where you can see your ad in our next upcoming podcast or live stream game. The Muscatine Riverhawks provide a wide variety of sponsorship packages to cater the needs of your business. More information on these packages can be provided to you from Kyle Bass or Eric Johnson, and their contact information is 563-299-8334 or 309-721-5560. We look forward to your support this season, and as always, go Riverhawks.
Holler's Bar and Grill. Food to drool over and entertainment to make you dance. This is what you would imagine in a Quad Cities bar, and Holler's Bar and Grill is just the place to have it. Serving happy hour every day from 3 to 5 p.m. with daily drink and food specials. They also deliver. Contact them at 309-277-9028. Holler's Bar and Grill, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football.
And welcome back here on the Riverhawks Media Network, Riverhawks Weekly. Tyler Bean, Jake Landry, joined by our guest of the evening, Eric Johnson. Eric, how are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing well.
All right. Good.
It was a bye week, but we have a lot to discuss. First and foremost, I know we talked about in the first part of the show, the Theo Wolf Foundation charity walk and fundraiser. You were there. You were there with the players and the ownership and coaching staff. How was that for the organization, and how was that for you?
It was a terrific event. We had a good player turnout. It's always a real pleasure when your organization is identified with the community and you get invited to special events like these because they have an interest in you, and we want to invest back into the community the same way. So,
well, and we were talking about also in the show, I don't think there's any other team in the MAAFL or really semi-pro football I can think of that puts their foot forward in the community as far as the Muscatine Riverhawks do. And certainly this isn't the first charity you guys have been a part of, and certainly won't be the last. I guess my question for you is, how deep of an impact is that for ownership to really put their best foot forward in the community and say, hey, we want to be a part of this. Hey, we want to donate to this cause, because I know that comes back to you tenfold, not necessarily in sponsorship dollars or accolades by those organizations, but really just getting the word out there for your brand and your organization.
well, the brand name is important. We feel like we provide an activity and to entertain on the weekends, and the more people we can get interested, get out of their homes, especially coming out of a pandemic when we were locked up for about a year. And people get outside. You can bring your kids out and get together and watch a football game if you enjoy football, or if you just enjoy the atmosphere of what the Riverhawks stand for, and get people together. And it gives some, again, we get to spend a few hours outside together and laugh and tell jokes and enjoy the sunshine.
Now, really quick, before I jump over to my partner here, there were a lot of young football players there at the event. Any futures contracts that you guys signed that we need to know about?
Yeah, we did hand out a couple. I don't want to say names.
Sure.
I keep my privacy about certain roster moves we make as much as I can. But yeah, there was a couple wide receivers worked out real well. It was a young defensive lineman, looked like he had some potential. So
good. Maybe we'll be bringing their name up here way down the line on the Riverhawks Media Network when we're in the big time. So it's certainly cool for Eric and the rest of the ownership and coaching staff and players to get out there and enjoy the sunshine. I know it was a beautiful day weather-wise, and to put the brand's best foot forward, so that's important.
Yeah, a nice little weekend off, but now we're back to it. But going back to the last few weeks, 4 straight wins, really big win last week. How's the team feeling right now?
well rested.
That's good.
Well rested. The bye week, I think, couldn't come at a better time. We knew looking at the schedule, the Savages are a really good football team, and the later you play really good football teams into the season, they're gelling, they're playing better together. There's more continuity amongst all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. So we knew we were going to get a good shot from them, and we were on the road.
Yep.
So we felt like we faced one of the best versions of the Savages this year, and to come away with that win was huge. And for me personally, it was huge to go to Decatur and get a win for the first time in my semi-professional coaching career. So
awesome. We'd definitely like to hear that. But, season's not over yet. You still got one more big regular season game to play. And, they took it to Peoria this weekend without giving away too much. Do y'all have a game plan set to how you're going to approach this team this weekend?
Yeah, there's a game plan. There's we've had extra time to work on it. I got to go to the game Sunday and watch that game firsthand and get my own firsthand look at the talent that they put together down in Bloomington. What I know of MST in my career, they come and play you for 4 quarters. Those guys play with relentless effort, and they don't stop competing. I don't care what the score is. I'm currently 1-1 against them because they did not quit competing against us in a game in 2019. And they came back and won. They had a come from behind win over us on our home opener that year. So this team don't stop playing. They're well ran, and the organization is well coached. The guys go out and run through a brick wall for that staff and for each other. So, and they did Sunday. They fought hard for 4 quarters. That was a hard hitting football game. They never once hung their heads or felt like that they were they weren't in a position to steal the game. And that's what we're going to face this weekend. They don't quit.
Well, it's a good thing last weekend we finally got to see this team, or the weekend before against Central State, we finally got to see our Riverhawks team play 4 complete quarters, because from what you're saying, it sounds like we're going to need to play 4 complete quarters as well. So.
Yeah, and it'll be another all 3 phases type of football game where, some weeks, you can take and have some blunders
Right.
in one area or the other, and the rest of the team can make up for it. These games right now, all three phases have to be on point. And, I preach effort all the time to the guys. You have to show up and put on film effort plays. I'm getting ready actually to make a video this week of, these are the things that we practiced in the off season. Here's where it's showing up in game film. And here's some effort plays. Let's continue to play with this mindset because we've been in a playoff mode since our Punisher loss. We haven't had room for error, and we don't have any this week. Number 3 seed is on the line, and we want that third spot in the playoff seeding.
Yeah, big time. Number 3 seed on the line this Sunday on the Riverhawks Media Network as the Muscatine Riverhawks travel to Bloomington to take on the current 4 seed Mid-State Thunderbirds. And Eric, I guess I was a part of that 2019 home opener loss, and I know what you say about MST coming for 4 quarters. To me personally, I feel like MST's flown under the radar all year. A lot of people will say, they beat up some early, some less than good teams early on, and that's what their record shows. But I was a part of watching that game this weekend and just seeing 4 quarters of football show up. That's certainly important. If there's one area in this team right now, obviously they're riding high on the win streak. No room for error this weekend or as we head into postseason play. If there's truly one area of this team that just needs tweaking a little bit to really make a deep run, what do you think that is?
Excuse me. I don't know that there's a lot of tweaking. There needs to be a lot of redeveloping.
Sure.
Strengthening the muscles that we've already developed in the offseason and going through this season. We've seen all the mistakes we can make on film. When we talk about them, we've corrected them. We just have to continue to build off what we've had. We've laid a good foundation now, and we got to continue to build the walls around that foundation to secure our place in that championship game on July 11th and have a chance to win.
Yeah, I think we talked about earlier on the show, partner. This team was 1-2 heading into their 2 consecutive bye weeks. And talking to you, Eric, you said 2 things from the player side: just executing what's called on the field, and then from the coaching staff, a better use of player personnel. I guess a follow-up question to that: do you feel you've done that completely, or is there still room for those 2 things to happen?
I think there's always room for more improvement. I think every coach will tell you that. Every player will tell you that. You haven't never achieved anything. You're the old saying, you are what your record says you are.
Yep.
Everything in this game is earned. You earn it on the practice field. You carry it over to the game day. So you're always looking to develop and improve. You can't ever be complacent with any amount or any part of your approach.
Sure.
To getting ready for a game. And if you're going to make a strong playoff run, you got to continue to push yourself and demand more yourself in the gym, in the weight room, in the film room, in every aspect of your preparation and all the details that go into it. You got to continue to push yourself to be a better football player, to be a better teammate, to be a better coach, to be a better broadcaster. All of it matters. Every detail matters.
Yeah, big time. And detail's going to matter because, like I said earlier, the Riverhawks are heading to Bloomington to play a team that's very complete and is going to put up 4 quarters of tough football to try to secure that number 3 seed, which includes a home playoff spot. So I think that's going to be important to recognize moving forward, and certainly we're looking forward to calling that.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait to get out there. But my big thing is we've talked about the opponent we're about to face and, what you're going to have to do to get through this playoff run. What separates this team from past teams that you've had? Like, what makes them stand out more to the last few teams that you've coached?
So a lot of this year, I've talked about player etiquette, being a good teammate. In years past, I don't want to suggest we've had bad teammates, but this game is an aggressive, testosterone-driven, violent contact sport, and in the face of adversity, sometimes men can crumble mentally, and reaching out to a teammate to demand more of him and doing it the wrong way. We haven't had that this year. We've had nothing but a terrific approach to one another. The mental focus and the brotherhood of picking each other up and moving forward together in unity has been the difference this year from in the 2 previous years where we've come up just short enough to not have the success we expect and demand.
Yeah, and player accountability has always been every sport you do, every sport you play, everything you do. That's why football's the ultimate teacher. It teaches you lessons like that.
Yep.
So really, my last question for you that I have is, you ever going to put the pads back on?
No. Jokingly, for the last few years, I have thrown a helmet on at some early practices in the off season just to run around and bang around. And last year I did that, and I ran into a player as hard as I could, and I felt my legs hesitate just a bit before we made contact, which is not of my norm. And then my arms went numb when we made contact, and so I just kind of grabbed the jersey as tight as I could and rode this thing down and went, okay, we're done.
so no more.
We're done. The scary part of that story, I got home and I reached into my pocket to make sure that my cash didn't fall out, and I'd realized that I had a deja vu moment where I remembered looking after practice to see if my cash was there. And I don't remember anything from that cash check to the one home. So the drive home was on complete cruise control. We were
Yikes. Well, hey, you're a great coach and a great mentor, so I don't think you're going to have any problems contributing to this organization. My final question for you, not necessarily this season related, not this football team related, because we know you're going to provide success on the field, both on the field and in the community. You've been a huge part of this media network. I mean, from the time you and I talked last year to really putting this thing together to interviewing Jake and the other interns and getting them in here and then providing the product on the field for our viewers. What do you envision in the next few years this network to really improve on? And then as an organization, I know you guys got a lot of things going behind the scenes that we're not going to disclose, but just your because, you and I talk about when you and Kyle and Sam and Melissa all get together about what we really want to do next, because we're never really staying complacent. Complacency is not what we want to do. With this media network and what you want to do for the organization on the field, where are the improvements headed? Where are we truly headed for the Riverhawks here in the next few years?
Well, it's always about the player. Okay, so
Right.
we have to figure out how to improve what we built this year from a media standpoint on how to better spotlight the player, with the game film that we're providing, with other opportunities like the podcast and getting to know people, growing the brand where we get more offers and invitations to be a part of community events and get the players out there and get them used to that, getting players used to being professionals. Because many of them go on to the semi-pro football arena for whatever life obstacle stood in the way of their college efforts. Or beyond college and injury or whatever, they just came up short from being paid to play this game professionally. So we have to become better teachers of all that, with how we prepare them to be good people in the community, to how they prepare in the film room, and all those details we got to get better in every aspect of all that. So I don't know if there's one area. I think it's the entire package that just has to be examined every year. Go back through and look at everything you did and say, okay, where can we go out there, like the Queen City Insane Asylum and Caleb Scott? He catches a lot of eyes out there with the Shills media and the 4K previews and promos they cut. And that's a neat design. It's different than ours. Really neat design, but it's eye grabbing. So how do I, instead of taking a video cut up, how do I get my product to be just as eye grabbing and captivate you for 40 minutes in a podcast or for 2 hours in a football game, rather than doing a 3-minute cut up?
Yeah.
So it's we have a different mindset of how we market, but you're always I'm looking at all kinds. I can't think of all the other names. The Southern Sports Network.
I'm familiar.
I've reached out to them and I've had conversation with them. So from this end of it, we want to get a couple more end zone cameras and get some different views to enhance our product that way, visually become more pleasing to the viewer. But again, it's always about how can we make better for the player and give them a better look on film to get a better opportunity for other places to call and inquire.
Sure. Yeah, well, I can tell you this, from the moment we talked in November into what we've got now, the team's heading into what's hopefully a long playoff run, and then obviously this side of things on the media network has been very successful. So
extremely successful. And not to interrupt, but I can't thank you guys enough, and
Sure.
Troy and Zach and the Monmouth College. I really can't express enough appreciation, especially in season. I get so busy I don't get to tell you guys how much we really appreciate all the effort that goes into this. I mean, a lot of this, you guys all had a hand in Raekwon moving on to Wyoming, who's going to play and kick off here in about an hour and play again tonight. And
That's awesome.
He's playing professional football right now, and Troy and everybody, we were all a part of that and helping with the film editing and all that stuff. So I can't thank you guys enough for what the platform you provide to our players.
Well, that's the first of many, certainly not the last. Other than that, thank you very much for taking the time to join us on this show. And, hey, listen, this isn't going to be the last time we talk to you on this show. I envision the league trophy and a bottle of champagne sitting here at the table as we discuss off-season plans, and we certainly hope that you'll be here and a part of that.
Sure, absolutely.
Perfect. All right, that's head coach and owner Eric Johnson of the Muscatine Riverhawks, who joined us as our weekly guest. Let's take a quick break and come back and detail the big game this weekend. Riverhawks and Thunderbirds for the 3 seed and a home playoff game come playoff time. It's all right here on the Riverhawks Media Network.
Nutrition Outlet. If you're looking to maintain your health or get back in shape, Nutrition Outlet provides a wide variety of products and services, including biometric scanning, organic salon, detox sessions, emotional balancing, and natural health assessments. Contact them at 563-264-8124. Nutrition Outlet, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football.
From maintaining that perfect smile to the most complex dental needs, Parkway View Family Dentistry is committed to providing you and your team with safe, gentle, and high-quality dental care. Sensitive to your needs, it is their goal to make you feel comfortable visiting their practice while providing the best possible care. Open 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. More information can be provided or schedule an appointment by calling 309-792-0513. Parkway View Family Dentistry, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football. If you're in the mood for some new ink, look no further than Pearl City Tattoo. Bill Kaufman opened Pearl City Tattoo in 2005 and has grown to be the most recommended tattoo shop in Muscatine, believing that every customer deserves the best experience possible, and they set the standard for communication, prompt scheduling, and transparent pricing. You have questions, you can reach out to Bill on Facebook and Instagram or contact them at 563-263-7001, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football. The Quad City Insulators. With over a decade in home comfort, the Quad City Insulators exist to serve the needs of their homeowners, architects, farmers, and business owners. The amount of money that is wasted due to heating and cooling loss has created a strong demand for not only their superior products, but superior workmanship. They can be contacted at 309-373-0505 and are proud sponsors of the Muscatine River. And welcome back here on the Riverhawks Media Network, Riverhawks Weekly. Tyler Bean alongside Jake Landry. It was nice having Coach Eric on for a hot minute, wasn't it, partner?
Yeah, remember at the beginning of the season when he said he'll never be on this show ever, and now we've had him during a game and we've had him for the podcast.
We're spoiled, man.
Yeah, we are.
I'm telling you, and I think highly of Coach Eric Johnson. I think he's a good mentor and a good coach and a good owner for this organization, and so we're certainly blessed to have him on. And just the way he was explaining that it's all about being a part of the team over being a part of oneself and being a better teammate, and it goes beyond just teaching and coaching the game of football. He's really a teacher and a coach of life, and so it's good to have him a part of the organization. And really the thing that impacted me the most was that his drive to be a part of the community is as big as it is, and that's not just Eric, that's really the Riverhawks in general.
Well, yeah, and definitely based off what he was saying, you could see a change in this team from earlier on in the season.
Big time.
Because there was definitely a point where this team seemed a little divided, and I think that Coach Eric Johnson reminded the team, like, hey, this is bigger than just one person here, and he shows that by constantly reminding them on the field and off the field, and then just this charity work they're doing, everything they're doing in the community. That's kind of it's a good reminder for this team of what everything's really about, because at the end of the day, football is just a game.
Yeah, just a game, but it's a game that we're talking about here on the Riverhawks Media Network, and so let's just dive deep into brass tacks, right? Eric talked about this requiring 4 quarters of one's effort. It's going to be a big game Sunday.
Oh, 100%. And, I mean, last week, like I said, we saw this team play 4 full quarters of football, and it was beautiful. It was fun to watch. I mean, We definitely saw it against TST, but this isn't TST. This is MST. This is a good opponent who just played an even better opponent last week. And like he said, they played all 4 quarters. So, yeah, we are a team that's rolling, but, man, it's going to be an unstoppable force versus a movable object right there. So I think we're in for a good game.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at it from the offensive side, what they did successfully in Decatur against the Savages is going to play a big part here. I think I'm not a big predictor, but I think there will come a point in time where maybe the team is down and they're going to have to ask the offense to produce. And we talked about that on the broadcast a couple of weeks ago. There were drives where the offense needed to score and they delivered against a very good Central State defense. I imagine that being the same thing here. Now, in counterpart on the defense, I think they've got some nice receivers and some running backs. The quarterback is not very mobile from what I saw on film. So he's going to sit back in the pocket. I think this is going to be a big week where the defensive line is going to have to get after it and cause some turmoil there in the backfield.
Well, the defensive line has been doing that all season. So if that's going to be the case for this team, then we are going to be in some good shape. It's also going to come down to that secondary, staying home and playing assignment football, like I said last week. So this defense just needs to keep doing what it's been doing. I've been saying this all year. Defensive line, apply that pressure. If you have a non-mobile quarterback, that's a nice breath of fresh air compared to the last quarterback we had
big time
against Peoria and against Midwest Hawks. Man, that's just a breath of fresh air for this defensive line to pad some stats, hopefully. But that secondary just needs to keep doing what it does. We're a high-scoring defense for some reason. This defense just loves to score its own points, so I expect to see a lot of that if the secondary stays home and plays assignment football.
Well, and just because you said it, partner, our defensive turnovers and scores are brought to you by the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Eastern Iowa and Western Illinois, providing love and support to families who need it the most. Every single time there's a defensive turnover, a sack, or a score, Riverhawks ownership will donate a nice little bit of money to the Ronald McDonald House Charities. So, obviously, I won't be there this weekend. I will be on vacation with my girlfriend and her family. How you feeling, partner? You ready to call your first game?
No, it's not my first game to call, but my first game play-by-play. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to see if I could copy the other best in the business over here. I could see if I could copy you and be as good as you, maybe take your job, yeah?
Well, don't go too far, brother. I will be gone this weekend. Like I said, I'll be in Florida soaking up the Florida sun before I start.
Why don't you brag about it some more?
Yeah, well, I've only been talking about it for the past 5 or 6 months, guys. Right?
Yeah, it's also written on your calendar in big old bold letters.
Hey, man, I haven't taken a vacation in quite a long time, so it'll be good to get away for a week and to unwind with my girlfriend and her family, and we're looking forward to that. But I will be on that beach with a drink in my hand, but I will be watching Riverhawks football on the Riverhawks Media Network. So
you know what? You earned it. You enjoy yourself.
Thanks,
we'll take it this weekend.
I greatly appreciate it, and I'll be watching you guys and all the great work you do and the great work that the Riverhawks do. So other than that, I think we're going to wrap this thing up. There's only one thing to talk about, and this weekend the Riverhawks travel to Bloomington for the season finale, and it's a season finale like no other. Seed number 3, a home playoff game on the line, Thunderbirds and Riverhawks. It'll be right here this Sunday on the Riverhawks Media Network.
If you are looking for a place for fellowship and worship with great people, look no further than River City Church, welcoming those from all walks of life and faith with 2 Sunday services at 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. in Moline and 10 a.m. in Milan. More information can be provided by calling 309-764-5685 or 309-558-0065. River City Church, proud sponsors of the Muscatine River. This Sunday, folks, it's the season finale, but it might as well be a playoff game. The 3 seed and a home playoff game is on the line this Sunday as your Riverhawks head to the road to Bloomington, Illinois to take on the Mid-State Thunderbirds at 109 East Lafayette Street, Bloomington, Illinois. Pre-game show starting around 1 o'clock with kickoff at 2. My boy Jake Landry is on the call. You got Riverhawks and Thunderbirds this Sunday right here on the Riverhawks Media Network. If you are looking for signs for your team or business, look no further than High Tech Signs and Apparel, a state-of-the-art full-service sign shop. And from the clean and modern off-white shop to the latest technology in designing and producing signs, High Tech Signs has a sales staff of over 25 years' experience to cater your every need. Services include large format digital printing, interior signage, exterior signage, vehicle solutions, and apparel.
When it comes to solving the sign problems, the solution is High Tech Signs and Apparel. Located at 3359 Middle Road, Suite 2 in Bettendorf, you can call them with any of your questions at 563-449-9400. High Tech Signs and Apparel, proud sponsors of Muscatine Riverhawks football. Have some critters bugging you and your home team or business? Call The Bugman, the top quality pest control service in Muscatine. Services include tackling ants, bed bugs, bees, cockroaches, fleas or mites, hornets, wasps, home inspections, and so much more. Give them a call at 563-554-2847. The Bugman, proud sponsor of the Muscatine Riverhawks.
If you're in the Davenport area, check out the Dam View. Welcome to your favorite dive bar tucked away downtown. They host a wide range of beers, many of which are local, as well as daily specials, good service, and a large patio. Contact them at 563-324-4434. Proud supporters of the Muscatine Riverhawks.
To keep up with everything Muscatine Riverhawks, follow us on all social media platforms to see everything behind the scenes, weekly podcasts, and of course, our live streams of games every Sunday. You can follow us on Facebook at Muscatine Riverhawks Media Network, on Instagram at Muscatine Riverhawks, Twitter at Riverhawks_MN. You can follow us on YouTube at Muscatine Riverhawks Media Network, and then you can follow us on Snapchat at Riverhawks 2017.